Well, I gotta say, I'm starting to understand why people say that Dressrosa really drags its heels in the anime sometimes, because oh boy, I've watched like some 10, 15 episodes this week, and to be honest, it feels like the progress has been like maybe half of that total. So that's very funny. I'm definitely starting to understand the slog that it is to a lot of people. Anyway, what's up, boys? Bob here with more One Piece Great Power Colosseum. I was about to say me and Brandon. Unfortunately, that is not quite correct. This will probably be one of the very few One Piece games I do solo, because One Piece is my new favorite anime, even if, oh god, I am not nearly as fluent with it as other people are. But you know what? Details. Anyway, so a couple things I want to go over before we get too deep into the thick of things. First of all, yes, I am still watching the One Piece anime. I am in Dressrosa. Still at the beginning of the arc, I would say, relatively. I just wrapped episode 643 before fire up recording, and yeah, it's cool, but man, I just really want to get through the rest of the tournament to see where the story goes. And also, it's weird because it feels like the story's moving, but I know I got like 150 some odd episodes left, so that's gonna be fun. Challenge run, seeing if I can post all of the One Piece games for Dressrosa before I'm done with the actual arc. Very funny. That's like 4 in total. So right now, what I have before you is actually Hancock and Doflamingo. Not for any particular reason. It's just that Hancock, I was getting to practice in before today, or sorry, just before recording, because she's going to be one of the primary focuses of today. And also, Doflamingo is a character I will be spending a lot of time going through the final story with, because you can choose basically whoever you want, which is really convenient. One criticism I did want to highlight too, and I'm not sure if this is really a criticism per se, but one thing about the story mode does irk me more and more, is how it feels like there's no real rhyme or reason for unlocking assist or other characters going through it. Like, I swear, like, even with the minute amount of stuff I have translated myself, like, it feels like the characters you get in certain situations, like if you choose to go to X Island and do do a certain sequence of events, then you'll just get like a seemingly random character. I'm not really too hot on that. I mean, it's not the biggest pain in the ass ever, but just like, I can see why. I see more and more why this game didn't get translated and had a Western release. Even if I think that would have been good for Arc System games and for the anime fighting game community as a whole, because, man, we still have to kind of beat the stigma of the Storm, the Storm games a little bit, don't we? But regardless, time to go ahead and jump into the things. So first of all, we got four stories left? No, not quite. We've done 3 stories so far. Obviously, these little gems, and now we have this one to get through. Now, just take what you know with these characters right now, and that's basically the story mode you're going to be ending up with. Sanji thirsts after Hancock. They're trapped on an island boat. I think it's a boat together. And, well, hijinks ensue. Hancock, like, excises them to a corner of the boat, and it's like, okay, I will say I'm glad we didn't get this one, because this would have been really freaking annoying to deal with back in the day. Holy shit. In fact, so much so, let's go ahead and fire this up, and I'm going to go pull up my, because remember, I did translate each of the intro cutscenes for this game, and simultaneously, there is some noteworthy things, like some funny shit that goes down, like the good cop, like the buddy cop film that was Fujitora and Akainu, which was kind of peak, but man, I wish we did more of it. But I guess in this case, we're going to get Hancock. Now, I know, despite what me and Brandon say regularly about Hancock being a really strange character that seems to continually undermine her actual, like, purpose in the story, I will say that I am at least pleasantly surprised in a lot of the One Piece games where she's actually generally fun to play as. This is one of those games. It's kind of strange. In a lot of games, she almost feels like just a carbon copy of how Sanji plays, because, you know, kicks, etc. But in some games, I'm going to be real, she feels more fun to play as. I don't know how much of a hot take that is, but, like, yeah, she's not flying as much as Sanji, and she's got an actual projectile sometimes. So, I don't know, different flavor Sanji? I guess I'll take it. Sure, why not? Alright, let me see what my actual translated notes for this game were, because I played this game all the way through a few months ago, and I haven't really gone back to it yet. Anyway, fun stuff. Also, you might start seeing more of the cracks forming. Okay. Hancock's anime portrait here isn't the worst I've seen so far. There's actual shading going on with her. As opposed to Sanji, who... What's the best way to describe him? He looks like a pastel painting, almost. Like, he's just really flat, like in the lighting. Hancock's got definition on her. Not like Sanji has, except for sometimes in some scenes. Dude, I don't know. This shit's weird, dude. Okay, general bullet points. Usual isekai, but the treasure in this case is meat. Sanji wants to cook it, but Hancock is uninterested until she realizes she can give it to Luffy. That sounds right. Sanji tries to molest Hancock and she shoots him down hard. Not terribly surprising. You can see the hearts already, guys. I can't make this shit up. And Sanji starts referring to her as queen and becomes navigator. Yes, we are really boy-toying Sanji more so than usual. So, yeah. Although I guess with where I'm at in the anime right now, replace Hancock with Violet, and you kind of have the same result, more or less. Again, it's pathetic, to say the least. But, I mean, I know what's happening at the... Look, even if I didn't translate this, I could take a stab in the dark and guess what the hell's happening. I know what the hell's happening. This is unfortunate. We're still not in the Sanji's actually a good character arc yet, which is going to be Wholecake. And some good moments in Wano. The cyborg parts kicking in and whatnot. So we got some time to go there. Until we get to the good stuff. Excuse me. But yeah, this should be a relatively short recording session. I think it's going to be like this one story. I think every story's been averaging like an hour so far. I'm not going to make every single part 1 hour long. That would be incredibly obnoxious. Maybe like three videos, like 20 minutes per. That sounds good. Yeah, you can take a stab at what's happening here. However, the last story mode will take an amount of time, so yeah, like an hour and a half overhead maybe. Tonight's not gonna be too long. Currently, chat is completely dead because I didn't really give much of a heads up that I was gonna be streaming tonight. So, well, I'm sure people will have interest in this eventually. Anyway, did I mention that before? So, I mentioned before that there's been no full playthroughs of this game prior. There's one other guy who just kind of sped run his way through this game. Oh, hey, we're actually at Fishman Island. Holy shit. That's like the only other playthrough I could find on YouTube for this whole game, and man, that was funny. Like compressing every single part, so it's just like, oh my god, we really are in Fishman Island. Holy shit. Wonder how this fits into the Limit Island kind of aspect. Anyway, points. It was... What the hell was it? Completely lost my train of thought. Go figure. Anyway, so let's go ahead and just start taking notes, I guess. I like how two of these are just the exact same thing. She really just gonna blush after everything we do correctly, by the way. So, get used to that, I guess. You know, I do understand the appeal of Hancock, and it's not like, not necessarily like a taste kind of thing, but I understand why a lot of people are hooked on her. It's because, some guys just really need the attention, and Hancock with Luffy as a proxy does kind of fulfill that need for a lot of men. I don't know if Brandon would ever be able to understand like the full perspective of what I'm trying to like say here, but yeah, a lot of guys just really need some doting on, or like need that. It's the same reason why a lot of dudes are super into yanderes. They just really want someone to actually pay attention to them, you know what I mean? So I get it, but narratively, like, Hancock keeps kind of undercutting the reason she exists, which is, you know, she's beautiful and everything. She's able to get away with anything in the whole wide world because she's beautiful, and that's supposed to be more a detriment on the world, like society itself, for how shallow and focused on beauty it can be. But eventually we kind of keep deriding that one feature of her, so it's like, oh, I think the wrong lesson's being taken away from her. It's much like how in Dragon Ball, funny enough, this one? Nope, guess not. So it's like how in Dragon Ball, the moral of the story was you can't take someone's power level at face value. There's more to a fighter than just their power level straight up. And then the fan base completely took that the wrong direction. It was like super autistically hyperfixated on power levels exclusively. I don't know, there's a certain like funny merit to that, you know what I mean? like a certain amount of irony. Hello. Also, speaking of wood, I can't get what Brand said out of my head, like how she's actually like somehow really, really cute in like a weird sort of way. And I'm like, yeah, I see it. Yo, girl, what that tongue do? Fuck. I had to say that. Okay. Anyway, wait, did I get her sisters as a assist already before? I'm not sure if I did or not. I don't know. Again, it feeds into the whole thing about, sometimes this game can be really weird with how you unlock characters. Sometimes things are just kind of placed with no rhyme or reason. Another bad one, go figure. I wonder if every single one of them is like one good result and two bad results. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Theoretically, if you're a non-Japanese speaker, you have a 1 in 3 chance of getting those correct. Yeesh. Oh, hi, you're here. He has a name. I forget what it is, but there is something morbidly funny about a giant baby man just walking around down at the bottom of the sea. I got a green up. Okay. Red kanji up, I think means your fame gets increased. Green, I'm not really sure about. Maybe like points or something? I'm not sure. Again, if anyone in the comments down below wants to clarify what a lot of this means, I am not only am I more than receptive to it, I will highlight your goddamn comments if anyone has any helpful info on a lot of this shit. I'll go with the short one. Nope. Again, if I cared more, I would probably send each one in like grill them by using the Google Translate app on mobile in order to know what all is happening every time. Hi, haven't seen you in a bit. Super actually fun character and very okay. I'm glad. Fuck, what was her name? His name in this case, Ivankov. Shit, I was just blank on that for a minute. Sorry, there's a lot of characters in One Piece, and I sometimes forget their names because I'm old. But yeah, I'm glad we gave Ivankov fucking high level of detail for his character model. Holy shit. Was her name Charlotte? Yeah, something like that. One fascinating detail that Brand did actually mention, I'm not sure if I heard somewhere else, is that his entire time spent on the Kama Kingdom island, Sanji never actually struck the trans woman, not cross-dressers. I think it's actually trans woman, I want to say. Again, I don't want to be impolite about this. He actually never struck them one single time. So, in a funny sort of way, he does acknowledge them as a woman because, you know, he has that. Despite, like, wow, I did get them. Holy shit, nice. Because I don't think I had them beforehand. In his own sort of way, Sanji is being inclusive by his own strange merit because he's actually being inclusive with qualifying them as women. And not just being like, haha, dudes wearing dresses. He doesn't like them physically because I guess they're not passing enough for him, but he still acknowledges them as a woman, so cool. Doesn't make it much better. Gonna be completely honest about that. Hi, Shirahoshi. So yeah, 16, huh? And everything involving that dude. Yeah, that's wild shit. Okay. I think I talked about this already a little bit at length in Pirate Warriors 2, but yeah, Denkin. Fuck, what's his name? You know what I'm talking about, dude with 4 legs. Lusting after her at the age of like 4 years old, 6 years old. And then she's like inside the castle because he keeps throwing shit at her for like 4 years. Not weird. Oh, I don't think I've been to Punk Hazard yet. Okay, this is interesting. I gotta heal up though, I'm dying. Fuck. Okay, I'm starting to wonder if it's like, is it like an artifact of the 3DS that islands just keep popping up out of the water? Or is that like a thing this game does on the reg? I honestly cannot tell, really. Anyway, definitely need a crash for a minute. Holy fuck. Is he gonna go jack off at his bunk? I think he is. Cool. Alright, moving on. Enough of that nonsense. I've been here for a day. And I'd say top girl, but honestly, Nami's kind of overtaken that for me, honestly. I say, but recently, Robin has gotten her old haircut restored, so nature is healing. Woof! I am a fan. Okay, that gives me even more to play as now. Okay, so here's the funny thing. When we get to the final story, again, you can form whatever team you want going forward. I think the team I'm going to go for is, in a strange turn of events, I'm not going to play as Zoro. I'm going to play as fucking Doflamingo and Robin, which is a very funny team. If I'm not mistaken, is that like a very top tier team as well? Not like super high tier or like super top tier, but like really strong. Let me be able to check that tier list really fast for this game. What the hell was it again? Wow, Doflamingo's actually not S tier. He's A tier. Holy fuck. Okay. He's A tier. Robin is S tier. That still blows me the fuck away. I guess I've also heard good things about her in Unlimited Adventure as well. By the by, absolutely, you guys should follow me on Twitch. Please follow me on twitch.tv/RiseandJericho because we regularly do things over there Wednesday through Saturday. But I recently got a new game working on Twitch, guys. You should absolutely come check it out. It's a little thing called One Piece Unlimited Adventure. And if you're wondering how that came about, see, the PS5 controller has this little built-in gyroscope, basically. And with the gyroscope, hi Tashigi, very funny. You can actually emulate the, sure, why not? You can actually emulate the Wii Remote, inputs. So, not even kidding about that, you can actually use the PS5 controller as like a stand for the Wii Remote. And there's a lot of games I gotta try it out for, because if I can get that fully working, there's a good amount of Wii games I never actually played before. I think the biggest mainline Wii game I actually played when I was a kid was, not kidding you, Metroid Prime 3, because I've played Guilty Gear before. So, no, why am I saying Guilty Gear? Fuck. Sorry, someone was playing Guilty Gear on Discord just now. Fuck, words, they are things. I've played a little Mario Galaxy, but I didn't get far. I think I got like 2 worlds in, that's it. I never played Zelda Twilight Princess or what's the other one? Skyward Sword? Yeah, the one people don't like. I'm not sure. That might be a little more complicated, but you know details. Anyway, sorry. Throat's a little clogged up right now. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Dang, unfortunate. How could this happen to me? But yeah, there's a lot of games I want to get up and running. It's funny because the Unlimited Adventure is one of those games where like it barely uses the Wii Remote at all anyway. Aside from like some shaking of the controller occasionally to do stuff. So it's really funny because like it's almost like a super easy game to emulate, except for just Wii games are so funny because they're like really close to being easy to emulate, except for like the fucking Wii controls sometimes just being like, ugh, God. Also learned you can map motions of the Wii Remote Nunchuck to inputs on your controller, if you're interested in that. Anyway, back to One Piece. Punk Hours was a fantastic goddamn arc. Hi. Can I put hi Virgo, sir? Literal Albert Wesker never appearing in these games at all, and actually a really fun. What? The best fight in Punk Hazard? Yeah, I think I'd qualify that. The fight against Caesar was barely a fight, and everything else was kind of like not much. So I'm glad he's here. I would love to have him as an assist, personally speaking. But, you know, if we're not going to get it. Oh yeah, Sanji's here too, so that actually makes it even more funny. Nope, not quite. Bumped our fame, but I thought bumped our fame. I guess I'm wrong. Oh boy, okay. Now if I can get him, it'd be fantastic. Guess. Cool. I'm one of those guys that if it's a pure coin flip, I never go anything aside from the first option, usually just to get the RNG out of the way. But sometimes if you mess around a little bit, you can get some good results. Also, I think a lot of these events, quote unquote, do actually loop between stories as well. So like if you get them in one, you'll quickly get in the other one. Cool. Sorry, I'm trying not to skip the kanji too fast because I know someone out there might try to emulate this game and maybe someday that no one's gonna be playing this game anymore at all. So it's good for archival purposes. Hi, Smoker. Can I please unlock Virgo? Because I don't have him as an assist yet. I need to bring him along because someone needs to use this goddamn man. Oh yeah, one funny thing I was going to mention too is, so I was saying during the whole villains run that Doflamingo was supposed to be given to you. I admit I was actually incorrect about that, and that led me to one thing I was going to mention is that initially I thought a lot of characters in this game you got were scripted, like what's a good example? Who did we also like? Some of the Straw Hats, I think, in Luffy and Law Story, but I may have been wrong on that assessment. I thought some of them were scripted, but maybe a lot of them are more RG based than I thought they were. Because I thought for sure you were supposed to get Doflamingo during the villain arc, but we didn't. But we got Sanji instead, which granted, funny. Well, unfortunately, we ended up losing out on him anyway, so I think we've been done some before now. Okay, wrong. Oops. Anywho.